Hey there, BookTube. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the Apple Book Tag. Today I'm doing the Apple Book Tag, which was originally created by the literary Gladiators, which is a new to me channel, but I don't know, a lot of you probably have been following him because it is a pretty awesome channel. He created this original tag. He's created a few other tags that link books and food, which I think are fascinating. So if you haven't already, go check out his channel. I'm going to link it down below. And I was tagged by Richardson Reads as well as Sean the Bookmaniac. So if two people send you the same tag, you know you got to do it ASAP. So today I'm doing the Apple Book Tag. The questions are many. They are linking different varieties of apples with books. The first prompt is the Granny Smith, which is an overbearingly sweet work or character. And for that I chose Anna and the French Kiss, which is by Stephanie Perkins. I read this one a few months ago. The main character is Anna. She's a high school senior. She leaves Atlanta and goes to spend a year in Paris. And she meets this boy, Etienne St. Clair, who the minute she meets him, they fall in love, even though he's in a relationship, even though she's in a relationship. They begin as friends, and their relationship quickly progresses to the point where they are just unable to keep themselves away from each other. This is overbearingly sweet. The boy in this, even though he's in a relationship with someone else and they're kind of in a love triangle or a love square at certain points in the book, he's perfect. He's too perfect. Overbearingly sweet, Granny Smith. Next up is the Fuji A, work about a mountain, and for that I chose Eat and Run by Scott Jurek. And he's an ultra marathon runner, and this is his memoir. He talks about becoming an ultra runner and what it's like training for a race and also enduring it. He's very famous for having done the Badwater Badwater race, which goes in Death Valley and the Grand Canyon, and he's running mountains. So when I thought about a work about a mountain, I instantly thought about this one. Next is The Red Delicious, and it's a book that would be perfect if it was judged only by the cover, and for that I chose Tell Me How This Ends Well by David Samuel Levinson. I read this one a few months ago. I got it from the publisher in order to do a review, and I did not like this book much, but I love the cover. I really wish that the contents match the cover. I love the colors. I love the drawings. I love almost everything about this cover. You see the picture continues in the back. It's a road trip, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love to have people in the car and we go on trips, especially family trips, right? I love this cover. The book, not so much. I don't remember much of the details about this book, is how much I hated it, but it has to do with the siblings getting together and conspiring to kill their father because he is not being nice to their mom. She's dying, and so they decide to kill him too so that she can have her last days in peace. Yeah, didn't like this book at all, but the cover, beautiful. Golden Yellow is the next prompt, and that's the book with yellow on the cover, and for that I chose Swing Time by Zadie Smith, which I picked up because it was longlisted for the Man Booker Prize. I still haven't read it, but I will someday. Category number 5 is McIntosh, and that is a book by an author that has influenced your writing in the past or would influence your writing in the future, and I chose Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And I haven't read this one yet, but I read Americana, loved it, read Thing Around Your Neck, loved that. And this is my newest book from her that I have yet to read. So I think her writing style is very influential. She writes very similarly to things that I have written. In fact, her book Americana is very similar to an epic novel that I've been working on for the past 10 years. I still haven't published. So Chimamanda is influential to me. She makes me want to publish the things that I've been working on my whole life. Prompt number 6 is Honeycrisp, and that's a book that you've read that is in great demand, and for that I chose Maya Angelou's first autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I tried to request this book from the library. It was always on reserve. I eventually had to buy my own copy when I was reading for the book club earlier this year. So this is a book that this is probably the most well-known of her autobiographies. She has 7, but when you ask a person about Maya's memoirs, they probably pick up this one. They probably think about this one. So this is a book that is in great demand, The Honeycrisp. Prompt number 7 is Baldwin, and it's about a writer that you feel needs recognition either because of something that happened to them, they died prematurely, or stunted acclaim or something. I chose We Need New Names by Violet Bulawayo. Violet Bulawayo is still alive. She's a young woman from Zimbabwe. And this was her first novel, and it was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. It won several awards. It won the Penn Hemingway Award. It won a lot of awards. But she hasn't written anything since. And I don't feel like a lot of people know about this book. Even though it was nominated for one of the most illustrious prizes in the world, it wasn't a book that I heard a lot of people talk about. Maybe because of the subject matter. It deals with a young girl who's growing up in Zimbabwe and is kind of adopted and moves to the Midwestern part of the United States and spends her teenage years there, and about the differences in her experience both in the United States as well as in her original African community, as well as how life could turn out very differently based on where you go and, you know, the kinds of things that happen to you. This book was stellar in a lot of ways. It wasn't a perfect book, for sure. This is a writer that became known around the same time that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie and Helen Oyeyemi. However, we hear more about those authors and not about her, even though her work was elevated to a higher level by being nominated for the Booker Prize. So I'd like this book and this author to get a little bit more attention if that is possible. So I'm picking that as the Baldwin. Prompt number 8 is Empire, a work that is set in New York, and for that I chose The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, because this one happens almost entirely in Manhattan, except for the, yeah, I won't spoil the rest of it. But this one happens in New York City for sure. It's, you know what this is about. It's about a young girl who is from Jamaica, and on the day when she is set to be deported, she meets this boy in the city and they fall in love as they start moving around the city, following each other to their appointments until they realize just how their meeting was probably fated to happen from the beginning. Beautiful book. Next is The Gala, a work that fits many genres, and for that I chose The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. The book is a fictional response to a self-proclaimed prophet leaving his community and being asked questions about life, and him giving advice to the people who are asking him questions. So it reads like philosophy. It also reads like instructions that are coming straight from the Bible or from a religious book, but it's also fiction, so it fits those genres, and it also is illustrated. It has a lot of the artist's drawings included, and so I don't know, it just fits a lot of genres. For a small book, it packs a lot of punch. Prompt number 10 is Ambrosia, a long work that was easy to follow, and for that I picked a nonfiction called The Little Big Things, 163 Ways to Pursue Excellence. The reason I picked this one, it is an advice book with 163, like it says, 163 different pieces of advice. The text is printed with lots of different fonts and it's broken up in lots of very different ways. So I thought that this was a really easy book to read, easy book to follow. You can see I have a lot of bookmarks in here, and yeah, for such a big book, it was surprisingly easy to read. Jazz is number 11, and that is a work that was written in or after 2010 that demonstrates freshness and originality. And so I went with this year's Man Booker Prize winner, Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders, because this is a completely unique kind of writing. And if you haven't read it yet, I think you should. I will talk about it very soon. It is being written kind of like in play script, but also not, because it's not each person speaking. Sometimes the people speak other people's lines, and it's beautiful, it's original, and it is completely jazzy, which is why it won the Man Booker Prize. Prompt number 12 is a big book that you indulge, and for that I must choose The Decameron, which I read and sketched my way through last month and the beginning of this month. It is over 900 pages, and there are 10 days of stories. 100 stories are included in this book, and I sketched about 80 of them. So I really indulged my way through this book. I'm gonna link one of those videos down below. In case you missed my Decameron experience, you should go ahead and watch those videos. So a big book that you indulge, definitely this one. And prompt number 13, what is your favorite apple? Fuji. I love the Fuji apple. I eat Red Delicious because it is the one that's probably most available around here. But Fuji is my absolute favorite, especially an organic Fuji. Oh man, love it, love it, love it. I love Fuji apples with peanut butter. And prompt number 14, apple tree, who do you tag? I'm going to tag a few people. I'm going to tag just one reader. I'm going to tag beautiful bookish Bethany. I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to tag Lillian Newsender. Even though Lillian doesn't have a booktube channel, she watches booktube kind of religiously, and she responds to all my videos. And so Lillian, I would love to hear some of your responses for some of these prompts. Just type them up in the comments. I'd love to read them. So I'm going to tag those 3 people. Thanks for watching this video. Leave me a comment down below. If you've also done the Apple book tag, you can just let me know in the comments and I will pop over to your channel and watch it. Or if I talked about a book here that you want to hear me talk a little bit more about, go ahead and leave that in the comments, so we'll talk down there. So until next time, happy reading. Bye.